The Republican Party and Donald Trump put on a very compelling case for re-election. Let's watch.
I'm speaking to you from an auditorium emptier than Joe Biden's daily schedule.
Growing up in the Deep South, I've seen racism up close. I know what it is, and it isn't Donald Trump.
Not a single person in the out-of-control mob you saw at our house was charged with a crime. But you know who was? We were.
I see a party that wants to chain you to conformity and will destroy anyone they deem a heretic.
Joe Biden and the Democrats are still blaming America first. Donald Trump has always put America first, and he has earned 4 more years as president.
Our family went from cotton to Congress in one lifetime. And that's why I believe the next American century can be better than the last.
I'm so grateful to America, the place where I was able to build my American dream through hard work and determination.
Joe Biden is basically the Loch Ness Monster of the swamp.
Our entire economy and dairy farming are once again roaring back.
Some Democratic leaders tried to ban church services, while marijuana shops and abortion clinics were declared essential.
Biden is too weak, too scared, and too sleepy to stand up to the radical left.
A physician asked me to assist with an ultrasound-guided abortion. Nothing prepared me for what I saw on the screen. And I'll never forget what the doctor said next. Beam me up, Scotty.
The full war machine of the mainstream media revved up into attack mode. Canceled is what's happening to people around this country who refuse to be silenced by the far left. Let's make America great again.
Total honesty is what we as citizens deserve from our president. Whether you like it or not, you always know what he's thinking.
Drug overdose deaths decreased in 2018 for the first time in 30 years.
You've earned the most prized, treasured, cherished, and priceless possession anywhere in the world. It's called American citizenship.
My father does not run away from challenges, even in the face of outright hatred.
It defeated fascism, it defeated communism, and in 68 days, it will defeat the empty, oppressive, and radical views of the extreme left.
When you look at his 47-year career in politics, the people who benefited are his family members, not the American people.
Mr. Vice President, look at me. I am black. We are not all the same, sir. I am not in chains.
If the Democrats had their way, they would keep you locked in your house until you become dependent on the government for everything.
I've seen America's heroes up close. Some of them saved my life. Some of them saved many others' lives. Many of them never made it home. That's called duty. And America has a long history of it.
President Trump is no hawk. He wisely wields the sword when required, but believes in seeking peace.
Supporting President Trump, who will protect my daughter and our children's future, was the easiest.
Be a radical for liberty. And be a radical for our republic, for which I stand. One nation under God.
Republicans are the party that freed the slaves.
Donald Trump is the most pro-life president that this nation has ever had.
This is an election that will decide if we keep America, America, or if we head down an uncharted, frightening path towards socialism.
In 47 years in Washington, Joe Biden hasn't done anything for the timber industry.
He has done more for black Americans in 4 years than Joe Biden has done in 50.
With Donald Trump, you always know exactly who is in charge. Because the answer is you.
We need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House.
Winning for America is what he does. While they call it chaos, President Trump calls it change.
The president went above and beyond to help all sports leagues involved. Figure out a way to overcome the challenges of staging live professional sporting events in the middle of a pandemic.
The Democrats have walked away from us. The message is criminals have the right to resist arrest.
Joe Biden aided and abetted China's rise for 50 years.
Our daughter Kayla was taken as a hostage and murdered by ISIS.
We put all our faith in the government, but the government let us down. President Obama refused to meet with us until ISIS had already beheaded other Americans. To this day, we've never heard from Joe Biden.
Washington chooses sides. Our president chooses common sense. Where politicians choose party, our president chooses people.
What do you think the difference was between the RNC and the DNC? It was that the RNC featured people over politicians. Farmers, loggers, and veterans, steelworkers, lobstermen, and police officers. These were real Americans who were helped by Donald Trump's policies. Their authentic stories were relatable and easy to understand. The American worker was front and center. The American family was prioritized. Life, safety, peace, and prosperity were showcased, and voters were shown a choice between life under Donald Trump and life under Joe Biden. Many speakers acted as character witnesses for President Trump. Donald Trump's a pretty tough guy. Behind the scenes, he's a very compassionate man who cares deeply about all Americans, no matter what their backgrounds. That was the message. The base was energized by a well-executed program highlighting a record of strong and smart foreign policy, a focus on law and order, and an America First economic philosophy. The Republican Party under Donald Trump made an effort to welcome all Americans, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, and women. And those testimonials were powerful and persuasive and cut sharply against the nasty smears of the DNC. Trump won hearts and minds this week, despite what the media will tell you. And here is the president in his own words.
2 weeks after Pearl Harbor, Franklin Delano Roosevelt welcomed Winston Churchill, and just inside, they set our people on a course to victory in the Second World War. In recent months, our nation and the entire planet has been struck by a new and powerful, invisible enemy. Like those brave Americans before us, we are meeting this challenge. So tonight I ask you a simple question. How can the Democrat Party ask to lead our country when it spends so much time tearing down our country? Joe Biden is not a savior of America's soul. He is the destroyer of America's jobs, and if given the chance, he will be the destroyer of American greatness. For 47 years, Joe Biden took the donations of blue-collar workers, gave them hugs and even kisses, and told them he felt their pain. And then he flew back to Washington and voted to ship our jobs to China and many other distant lands. I did what our political establishment never expected and could never forgive, breaking the cardinal rule of Washington politics. I kept my promise. They are angry at me because instead of putting them first, I very simply said, America first. Biden's record is a shameful roll call of the most catastrophic betrayals and blunders in our lifetime. Joe Biden's plan is not a solution to the virus, but rather it's a surrender to the virus. Joe Biden may claim he is an ally of the light, but when it comes to his agenda, Biden wants to keep us completely in the dark. Joe Biden's agenda is made in China. My agenda is made in the USA. If Joe Biden doesn't have the strength to stand up to wild-eyed Marxists like Bernie Sanders and his fellow radicals, then how is he ever going to stand up for you? Our American ancestors sailed across the perilous ocean to build a new life on a new continent. We are the nation that won a revolution, toppled tyranny and fascism, and delivered millions into freedom. Over the next 4 years, we will prove worthy of this magnificent legacy. We will reach stunning new heights, and we will show that the world, for America, there is a dream, and it is not beyond your reach.
That was an excellent speech by the president, even though it was a little long and went a little late. I can't stay up like I used to. The president has realigned the parties, not your typical Republican. He wants to bring the troops home. He's pro-blue collar, criminal justice reformer, and is also pro-Second Amendment, pro-free speech, and pro-religious freedom. It's a populist approach that eats into the Democratic Party, yet maintains the Republican Party base, allowing him to expand the map and compete in more states. The president linked Joe Biden to a repressive historical movement who demands power in exchange for redemption. He cast Joe Biden as a weakling who has betrayed the American worker, an incompetent, lifelong politician who doesn't know what it means to put America first. Someone whose band of socialist crusaders will destroy the great American story. Biden's painful, unscientific shutdown won't defeat the virus. It'll only set us back. Now, rhetorically, the president took Biden's convention message and flipped it upside down, portraying Sleepy Joe as in the dark, someone who's hiding his radical policies and hiding in a dim basement, someone who will destroy the country in the dark of night just to gain power. You're seeing that now with riots and street violence. The Democrats doing everything they can to attack the foundation of civilization and safety. The president took a strong stand on maintaining law and order, something the Democrats totally ignored during their convention. The president honored "we the people," reminded voters he's fighting for you, not Washington. This is a movement, and he's reignited it this week. Lastly, the president finished with a beautiful flourish about American greatness. Trump raised the spirits of American history, the legends, the heroes, and the renegades, the pioneers who pushed forward into the frontier and forged a nation unlike any other. And he gathered that great energy and cast it out into the future, weaving together the great American story from the past, the present, and into the future, making us feel a part of one unique and patriotic journey, together as one, reminding us all that the best is yet to come.